the lesson I learned is that I don't want to dig all that out again. Because even with, beacon and efficiency 5 and diamonds and netherite, it has been a massive, massive pain in the ass to dig everything out. And it's also difficult to get the proper enchantments because you have paleontology. This is my first time, like a second time technically recording Minecraft. The first time I had done, what was it? The version of Minecraft, not the version, but like the thing where Minecraft gets like weird generation. There we go. And while I'm playing, I will admit that I'm listening to music on the side. Right now it is soundtrack of K-pop Demon Hunters.
Oh my god, he's so goddamn cool!
K-pop Demon Hunters. I thought I was going to hate it. And when I think I'm gonna hate something, I do not like it. So it is insane to me that I ended up watching it and loving it. It was so unbelievably shocking to me. I can't... Is it? What the hell? The fortune's incredible. Right next to a village, huh? I don't need this anymore. I'll keep it though. Die. Ooh, melon! I do want to collect all of these random little vegetation blocks, just so then I have more food for the, herbivores when I get around to it. I think I'm going to do a Jurassic Park style thing, and I think this is a good place to do it. It's flat. It's actually very flat. I have all that space to play around with. I like this spot a lot. I don't think I'm going to get a better spot to start off with. Ow. Then the question is, where do I set up my first house? I will happily admit that I'm really bad at building Minecraft houses. Like, despite the fact that I am a little bit artistic, I suck at Minecraft building. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm like a 2. But at least I'm not going to use jungle. I'm not that bad. I do like this spot. Seems like a good spot. And bam. Pow. Finish. I'm just going to drop this sifter right here, and this archaeology workbench right there. And a bed right there. And I've got my corner set up. I'm also never going to really need to make a composter other than for inventory storage purposes. No idea what a sifter does. I'm going to assume it's for sand.
I don't like sand.
Because if you didn't know, in this mod, you get a lot of bone meal from the bone, or the fossil blocks I should say, so you never really are in demand for bone meal. You also get a lot of bones as well, so you're never in need of it like a skeleton farm, which is very nice. Other than arrows, but you just get infinity, and it doesn't matter. So I think that's a good spot. No. So I won't do it. Back on my earlier incessant ramblings. K-pop Demon Hunters was way better than a movie called K-pop Demon Hunters should ever have been. I remember seeing like not trailers, but like I saw marketing for it online and I was like, wow, this is going to be horrible. Just because the marketing didn't look great. Like the poster on Netflix, like quote-unquote poster on Netflix, I'm sure you can agree if you've seen it. It looks very generic. And for me, the worst thing a movie could be, pretty much, other than, entirely harmful, is generic. It's why my personal least favorite movie ever is, well, other than what's it called? Birth of a Nation. That is my actual least favorite movie, but then it Surf's Up 2. Because Surf's Up 1 is very unique. I love that movie. And then Surf's Up 2 takes everything unique and throws it in the dumpster. It's heartbreaking for me. Because I do see a lot of potential for a sequel for that movie as well. But K-Pop Demon Hunters was so different from my expectations. It was genuinely, first off, it was a good musical.
Keeping you in check, keeping you obsessed. Play me on repeat, good I'll see in your head.
Which, in and of itself, is an achievement. Like, I love a good musical. Don't get me wrong. I don't even know why I'm saying that. I just love a good musical. And K-Pop Demon Hunters was a very, very good musical. I feel like every song pretty much had a purpose. And my biggest critique of the film was that it felt too short. I really do think that it needed that extra 15-ish minutes, I think it was, that was cut out to really flesh out the world building a little bit more. And I remember there was a spoiler warning for the movie, by the way. You know, there was not talks of, but one of the deleted things was that Rumi's aunt killed her mother. And obviously it's because her mother slept with a demon. I don't know if that's what they outright say, but I mean, come on. The whole theme of the film is that Rumi is subjected to being one of the others that she has been told to demonize, for her whole life, and that she has been built up to hate and, you know, perpetuates that same idea. And I do feel like the film didn't handle that part of the narrative especially great, right? Like, the only demon who gets any real growth or character development or even just exploration as a character is a couple of background characters and Genu. And don't get me wrong, love Genu. Genu was a great part of the movie, but I think there should have been just a tad more. Speaking of a tad more, this building is not big enough. I kind of wish the extra boy band members got a little bit more attention beyond their bodies, but I also understand why that was the case, right? It's the whole thing of, you know, men, oogle boogle, unga bunga, haha, sexy. It's meant to be a subversion of the fact that usually that trope is inverted, and usually the women are the ones who are subjected to being, you know, sexualized for the sake of the viewer. I do like that subversion took place, but I also kind of wish that they got a little bit more exploration. That's my second biggest critique beyond the fact that, you know, the movie was too short thing, was that the narrative felt like it was trying to tell me that demons aren't inherently a problem. It's Chima, I think I'm saying that right, and yet none of the demons, besides the main two, or 1.5, I guess, got any real development in that direction. And that really did feel like a damn shame. The movie had a little bit more to push through, and I don't think it quite succeeded 100%. I think it just needed a teensy bit more.
Figurati figliolo!
A movie that I would personally consider a masterpiece without the assistance of Lord Miller, which, you know, ultimately was the question ever since the very first Spider-Verse came out, was, can they do this without Lord Miller? I mean, Genndy Tartakovsky, his movies at Sony were all mediocre, being the Transylvania films, and, you know, could have been a Popeyes movie that would probably have been pretty good, but never came to light. And that as well, I do think is a damn shame. I think Genndy deserved a shot at the Popeyes movie, and now that he's making Fixed, it's just like, wow, this looks horrible. Like, that is the first time in how long that we have gotten a traditionally, and by we I mean audiences generally, the first time in years that we've gotten a traditionally animated movie from a major studio, and it is Genndy Tartakovsky's dog sex movie. Hopefully, it somehow ends up being good. I'm really hoping it does, because that'd be insane for Sony's hot streak to result in a movie that, you know, to compare them to Pixar, would be their Cars. And I think that is an apt comparison because, wow, Sony's hot streak has been incredible as of late. But wow, this movie looks horrible. Just like how Cars, put your nostalgia aside for a second, horrible, horrible movie. So that's where another chest is going to go. I think another door here actually kind of works. Yeah, I kind of like that. It's a good spot for... It's a good spot for double door. And that can be like... This can kind of be like my back door. But really, Sony Pictures Animation, I can't believe I'm saying this, are absolutely a modern Pixar with the level of output that they've been showing the world. And I think that couldn't be more evident than, you know, comparing their Ultimate Trilogy to another, you know, sort of Pixar's Ultimate Trilogy being, you know, Toy Story. Obviously, I do think that as films, the Spider-Verse trilogy is superior, you know, to Toy Story, even though Toy Story 1 through 3 are all great movies. You know, Toy Story 1 is an absolute classic. It's such a good time. Then Toy Story 2 is one of the best sequels ever made. And then Toy Story 3 carries on the torch. Again, one of the best picture, you know, sequels ever made again. And I've heard people genuinely talk about it being, you know, a movie that could have and should have won Best Picture that year. But it didn't because, you know, not the studios, but the Academy's bias against animation is a little bit too strong. And that's unfortunate. What mob is that? Is that the horse? That's weird. Well, I wouldn't necessarily agree that Toy Story is Best Picture or Best Picture winner worthy. I wouldn't even necessarily say it's an especially great Best Picture nominee worthy. The competition in 2010 was not great. I don't remember what won, but it was not a great movie, and Toy Story 3 was probably better than it. But then again, how many times has the best movie of a year been an animated film, and it's just been entirely snubbed? I mean, you've had movies like Ratatouille, you've had movies like Up, you've had the original Spider-Verse, Boy and the Heron. Something I'm missing here. Ooh, Maui statue. Spirited Away. That's what I was thinking of. There's also great for the Fireflies. There's Tale of Princess Kaguya, not Spirited Away. A Silent Voice. That's another incredible movie that, you know, some anime fans I know are like, well, that movie's not so great. It's a waifu bait. A Silent Voice is incredible. I mean, Japan has had an exceptional level of output forever, it feels. Except for, you know, the occasional mediocrity or the occasional, unfortunately not great movie. The level of quality from the best of the best in Japan is, you know, above and beyond a lot of the time when it comes to animated films. Like, there's a reason people still to this day tout Spirited Away is arguably the greatest animated film ever made, and I will still contest that. It's like an 8 out of 10.
You what?
It's a great movie. It ain't the best of all time, I'll tell you what. Another one is The Prince of Egypt. I know DreamWorks was a bit of a fledgling studio by that point in time, but god damn, that movie deserved to win so many awards that it didn't. Besides the fact that it was just straight up the best animated film of all time, in my opinion. Oh, that is the best movie of all time. Or a best animated movie of all time. It's not the best movie of all time. But that is what a best animated film of all time will look like. It's The Prince of Egypt, I'll tell you what. That looks so ugly. But yeah, I mean, the question with, you know, K-pop Demon Hunters, or with Sony in general, not even with K-pop Demon Hunters, because I think the expectations weren't exceptionally high for that one, was if Sony could make a masterpiece without Lord Miller's involvement. They had, the two Spider-Verse films, which are both masterpieces, I think. I would call them that without hesitation. And Mitchell's vs. Machines, which I think is on the verge. I think I would call it a masterpiece, if just. And yet, on the other side of things, you have, Wish Dragon. I love Wish Dragon. It's not a masterpiece. I don't love Vivo. I think Vivo sucks. But it got decent critical reviews. And it's not a masterpiece, though. So realistically, the first chance that Sony had to make a masterpiece without Lord Miller, it was Vivo. It could have been Vivo if Lin-Manuel Miranda just shut the fuck up.
Because even though Andres and I might not have spoken the same language, when it came to music, we became so in sync that, well...
But it was K-pop Demon Hunters. Because Wish Dragon, as great as it is, I don't think it was ever going to be a masterpiece. It's just not quite there in terms of, concept and execution. And budget. Well, I love it, but you could definitely feel the lukewarm budget it had. And I'm still probably the person who's probably gonna speak higher on Wish Dragon than anybody else. What the fuck happened here? Cool. Alright, so what I'm thinking is I'm going to split this up into two parts. The part that I've already recorded. And I'm also going to go to bed for the day because I'm a bit sleepy. I'm going to try to do daily uploads for a week at least. And if that doesn't end up working out, you'll probably know by either A, you're not watching this so you don't care, or B, I will have probably just stopped. I will either give up on the week early, or I will keep going for the week, tough it out, and then just give up afterwards. But yeah, if there is anybody who's watched this point, you are probably the only person who has watched this long, this far. So thank you for that. And yeah, have a good rest of your day. Go support an indie project. Go pirate some AAA bullshit. And have a good one.